It says
We
we
are
are
alive.
live.
We
It,
are
it, I'm alive. Music, but I don't see it on my Facebook. Oh, there it is. There it. No, it's not. That's something different.
There's a lapse. There's a lag. It'll get there.
Yeah.
Um,
Good morning, people.
Good
It's
morning,
Monday morning.
friends.
It might be Tuesday some places, I guess, but in the States, it's Monday morning. The dreaded day that everybody gets in their car and commute to hell.
That's a fun way of putting it.
That's
My
fun.
commute is super short.
Yeah,
It's like the
there we
distance
go.
from my bed to my dining table.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, how do you
smidge
get better than
longer
that?
if I decide to work in my office.
Hey,
Good morning,
good morning.
Tori.
Good morning. So many beautiful people. Deetra, Lemuel, Tori, good morning. Upstairs. Upstairs. She's like right there. My phone, where's my right there? There.
I
She actually
love
is right behind me. Right
it.
there. Happy anniversary to Tori. I want to say that. That's my wife. We've been married for 10 years
Aww.
today. And she waved
Happy
at us.
anniversary, y'all.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So she's put up with me. Uh, the magic, I like what you said, in darkness.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
Souls Day today. Yesterday was Halloween. I believe today's All Souls Day.
it is.
And it's the day that many people, I was driving around yesterday because I went to a friend's birthday party. And in the process of driving, I saw a bunch of people doing this trick or treat thing, which I did with my kids, you know, when they were younger. And I was just like, and we wear these costumes, and Tori was driving like, why do people do stupid costumes? I was like, well, I was one who liked dressing up. Uh, now I dress up without a mask and I'm a terrorist. But uh, uh, yeah, I mean that's where we are on this planet right now.
Fun
So,
times.
um, but it's kind of interesting that the whole concept of how people be like the devil if you how to celebrate Halloween. Somebody tell me some stuff like that, and I was like, okay. But do you know that Christmas tree story?
No, tell us.
It actually was a pagan where there's some death connected where they put bodies under a tree. It's a European, some type of pagan practice. And that's what the tree, because question, alert, Christians, what does a tree have to do with that dude named Yeshua?
Can we
I
just
mean,
start with how the vast majority of Christian traditions are pagan in nature?
yes, yes. Most
Okay.
people don't know that. They have no concept of that.
Yes.
But that's
Okay, carry
because,
on.
and I don't fault somebody, but I fault somebody. I don't really fault people because, good morning, Donna. How you doing?
You go.
People aren't a bunch of my family on here. Lemuel, my wife, my aunt, man, my cousin, raising them up. Raising them. Thanks for the support, y'all. But anyway, one of the things I was blessed to be able to study theology for 8 years because I was almost a Catholic priest, and I was just like appalled by them not teaching people where these traditions come from. And now here's the hook. Here's the hook. Like we got to fish on. Okay, I'm being silly this morning, but um, a lot of it is keeping people like Silence of the Lambs. They
Mm,
keep them to a point where they don't have to go look any further,
absolutely.
and it actually dumbs you down that I can do anything else to you. It's just like, here's the quick question: anybody can print in here or send me a message of telling me what language. I'm full of trivia this morning. Did Yeshua slash Jesus, because there was really no J where he comes from, this is going to be a hint. What language did he speak when he was living?
Oh, I know nothing about history, so I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
this one out.
It's just like some of the things that people don't look at and be like, well, wait a second, that's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
somebody might be asking, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Where did that concept come from?
Mm.
You know, like China, what China was known for growing a lot of tea back in the day when Europeans were coming to get it. Um, what else? Magic and darkness.
Yeah. We were talking about this
Yeah.
because and I have like a really beautiful example actually. Um, we really avoid those unpleasant, painful
Ooh,
parts of humanity.
no.
I
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm talking. I was looking at. Let me
know.
say it's no.
No,
Eh,
no. Wrong answer. Try
keep
again.
going.
That would have been my guess. For those of you who can't see the comment, Lemuel
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah,
guessed Hebrew. Um, my brain has a different answer, but it won't translate it into English, so we'll just keep going. But we were talking about like when I am going through something,
yeah.
I don't tend to get on the phone with people. I don't tend to like connect with people. Um, because typically people will try to cheer me up.
Yeah,
And that's beautiful. I love that.
yeah,
Um, However, as our Kathy will tell you, I'm an organic joy bomb.
yeah.
And I come with a lot of laughter and a lot of light and a lot of joy.
Hmm.
So if I am experiencing anything other than that, I'm trusting the humanity in me that there is a reason for it.
Hmm.
And the fastest way out is through.
Yeah. Say that
So
again. Say that again, so people get. What do you mean by that? The
the
fact that
fastest way out is through.
through what?
Whatever, wherever it is you're going.
Okay.
If you're sad, the fastest way to some joy is to just be with the sadness and let it run through your system.
Yeah.
Because if you fight it, if you prematurely pull yourself out of it, you don't get the medicine that's in it for you.
Right.
And then,
Ooh, well spoken.
thank you. And then you find yourself there again. You
Hmm.
need to keep revisiting those feelings, that
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
because your soul is after something.
Yes.
Your system is after something.
Yeah.
Or there's something in your system that needs to be moved through. And if you don't move it through, you just get to keep experiencing it over and over again until it does its work.
Yes.
So, Saturday, I went on a shamanic journey with one of
Hmm.
my teachers. And afterwards, I couldn't get to sleep. This is also just a Saturday night adventure for me. Just going to sleep is not a thing I like to do on Saturday nights, apparently. And I woke up Sunday morning sad. And I was like, okay. It's just like, I had plans in my head when I went to sleep that I was going to call you, that I was going to call my
Hmm.
girl Aye, that I was really going to like hang out with people. And I was like, no, no, I'm just going to be here.
You're right.
And I had an embodiment practice on my calendar that was like, you need to show up for this.
Hmm.
I don't care that you slept like shit and you're tired and there's no matcha. You still need to show up for this. So I did.
Hmm.
And about 10 minutes in, I was in tears, like sobbing on my floor. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then it did its work
Yeah. It was gone.
and is gone. Like I woke up this morning. It wasn't magic. It wasn't like
What?
gone in an instant. I was sad all day yesterday and I can't put my finger on the sadness.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of medicine in that for me. There was
Yeah.
a lot of clarity in my journal yesterday
Yeah.
that, wouldn't have come through if I went immediately to processing it or trying to sort it out or trying to feel better. And this all really came out of like not demonizing and not rejecting the human part of us.
Hmm.
Like our soul is good.
Yeah.
Our soul is like, I'm invincible. I don't
Yeah.
fucking care.
Yeah.
But those emotions that like being in a body means you get to experience emotions.
Yeah.
And if you try to bypass those, if you try to like sweep them under the rug, put some candy coating on. I love pouring honey on things. I
Yeah.
absolutely do. But like some things don't need honey poured on them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to sit with the discomfort. And it's really, really beautiful when somebody can sit with it with you.
Yeah.
When somebody can be like, you know what? That fucking sucks.
You know, Sarita, the other person that we meet with, she
Yeah.
had something on, and I said, "Hey, I'm just checking in on you." And she said something. She's responding to me. She said, "John, I'm so glad you didn't come and try to rescue me. You let me be with what I am." And I have to say that in the past I wouldn't have done that, but I've
Mm,
learned there was one thing that I like about Access. When Tori and I went to our first bars class, there was a friend of mine that had some energy in her that she needed to get out, and Tori went to grab because we were good friends, was going to console her. And the person said, "Don't touch her." And the person was like, "There you go, Lemuel. You found it. He spoke Aramaic." Absolutely. Did you know that before I asked you? The question with you guys is that what don't you know that you think you know that if you knew it, you might choose something more?
mm.
Ooh, poof. Just
Yeah. And I apologize, Lemuel, if I mispronounced your name.
yes. Uh, but my whole purpose of and my whole purpose of what you're saying to me is there's magic in everything, and I want to I want to say there are places where when discomfort shows up, it is the medicine. I
Hmm.
would say uh, for me, I am still taking some of that medicine with what recently happened on the 1st of October with my wife. I'm still taking that medicine. You know, I mean, and she pushed me out of the. As of tomorrow, I'll be pushed out of the nest, going someplace for a class. That, uh, and here's the piece about it.
Good job, Tori.
What about the discomfort is also right around the corner is a blessing in disguise.
That
There's a
it's
blessing in disguise. There's a blessing
always.
in disguise.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, it's crazy that if you would allow the blessing in disguise to be, the lesson of the discomfort is so much more easier.
Mm-hmm. A
And
hundred.
we don't. And here's the piece. And then we try to figure it out. Now, I also say this: magic. When I use magic, it's the je ne sais quoi, which means yeah, I don't know. It's something out there. It's bigger than what I can conceive. In July, I finally realized John Asher Jr. has so much inside of here that he experiences from out there that there's no words to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sense of energy. When I say magic, some people get my like, well, magic, what's that mean? Is that blessings? It's what you take it to mean. So whatever you pick up the energy of that, that's what it is for you.
Yeah.
So there's a place where I used to try to make sure that I could get things right for everybody. All my
Mm.
friends that were Christian, all my non-Christian, all my Muslim, all my and what I've decided is I can't do that anymore. I have to be. And the
Mm.
magic of that is inviting people to the magic of being themselves. Good morning, Kathy. And allowing them to explore where they are. Where you
Yeah.
are is right where you're supposed to be.
Yes. That, okay. That has not ever in my last 39 years been easy for me.
Yeah, it's not
That's
easy for most.
medicine that I'm still taking.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, there's no explanation for it. And that's the magic. See,
Yeah.
here's the piece. When I was a kid, mom and dad, John and Pam Ashford, gave me one of my favorite. I had two favorite toys as a kid. One was this battery operated. It was the weirdest thing, car wash, where you could watch your Hot Wheel car go through, and it was being washed battery, and you put water in, and it came out suds and stuff. I was like, I like because I loved going to car wash when I was a kid. The other one was when me and my brother we were living on 101st and Vernon. We got this magic set, and I wanted this magic set. And
Mhm.
when I got the magic set, it was cool until I realized now I know the trick. It's not funny. It's not entertaining anymore. That's how life is with discomfort. It seems like one
Yeah.
thing, but once you get the understanding, understanding the overstanding, so you got to be below something to understand. Okay, playing word, no, but seriously, once you get the overstanding of something, that's when more blessings are allowed to come in. And for me, what the reason I'm saying that is that with all of what's going on in my life right now, and you said the magic of darkness,
Magic in the darkness.
and the magic in the darkness is a invitation. I'm gonna say this why I say this to you guys. Magic, the darkness is an invitation. I just want you to think. I'm in Portland, Oregon, Camas, Washington, actually, and outside it's pitch black outside. Space is darkness. The ocean floor is darkness. The womb that we all come out of is in darkness. The
And
seeds
it's a
come
hot
through.
mess getting out of there.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm gonna challenge you with something. In a second, the seeds that come up out of the earth come out of
Mhm.
darkness to light.
Mhm.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
There's a balance there that we aren't willing to look at. And so where all those places where we want to run from the darkness and we label darkness as a negative, I'm going to invite people this morning to think about where is the darkness invitation to the magic of what's possible, of what they
Mhm.
can create and what they can be.
Yeah.
And where you said something I was going to
The
really get
hot mess of getting out
hot.
of the
So
womb.
so check this out. There's this river that separates the state of Washington and Oregon called the Columbia River.
Hmm.
Every year, twice a year, it's these fish called salmon who actually swim up the river against the current. They go against larger predators, hooks, and nets to get to a place where they can spawn and create their cycle and go back. All of them don't do that. Hence, when you are being conceived, there's a billion sperms coming up a vaginal canal, and only one, or if you have twins or something, they break off, actually become fertilized and become who we are. That's
Right.
the miracle of who we are, a million to one. We don't think about that. So everything about you is glorious.
Oh yeah. For
Everything,
sure.
and it's sometimes coming out of there is an experience, but I think it's also uh it's if you look at something half empty or half full, and that's where I'm at right now this morning, because I
Yep.
wake up in the morning and I have a capacity that I used to think, oh, I'm depressed. And some people are depressed. So I don't want anybody to hear this and say there's you don't think there's depression. Not for me, not as much anymore. It's more of my awareness of other people
Mhm.
and being connected and loving those people. And what I'm learning as I've gotten older and the more magic comes in my life, I actually return that energy to those individuals so that they can deal with it. Because being an arrogant son of a gun and trying to take care of some other people's stuff might not be the best deal for them, so that that lessen the discomfort that you talk about, sometimes that's
Mhm.
for them to figure out.
Yeah, we all have our own journeys. For sure, for sure. And I had to learn the hard way that trying to interrupt people's journeys by rescuing them,
Hmm.
um, that doesn't work.
Not at all.
Because
Not at
their
all.
soul is on a mission
Yeah.
and you can't interrupt that mission. And it's interesting the balance between like, I am here to be a contribution to this person's journey with this gift that I'm giving them, whatever the gift may be, versus like I'm saving, or it's not even saving them because you're not actually saving them, but interrupting
Right.
their journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it, it does them a disservice.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
And what happens is that a lot of times they aren't you're not aware of that and they're not aware of it. It's like it's like this. I could tell you this story that it's like for me, uh my girls moved out as soon as they got when they were graduated from college, whether they were gone, they went, but they moved in with their mom or whatever. They went off to college. Actually, both of them went off to college, And my son did the same thing and came back and stayed. And I was worried about the condition of the United States for an African American male, 20 something, 26 now. And I was worried about how they would assassinate my son
Mm.
because that's what this system likes to do, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
The hunted. I got a whole bunch of stuff that, don't let me lose sight of that. I'm just curious.
Okay.
Anybody out there watch this stuff?
The Hunted.
What the
Oh.
hunted? The hunted. Why do people think that they can come after one group of people compared to the next, and it's okay without asking questions? Just gonna put that out there. Just put that
Yeah,
out
we'll
there.
talk more about that later.
We not making somebody a victim. I'm not talking about that bullshit.
Right.
No, no. But just some just awareness, like hmm, just something to think about. So my son, long story short, he moves out this year, and he is learning how to deal with living better than anything. Grand rising, a lot, Alakat. How you doing, sister? Uh, so he's learning about living and going having all different type of experiences. And Tori was teasing him about when you would get out, you don't do this in the house. And now he has roommates and they do the same thing. And he's coming to us bitching about it. And I crack up. I'm like, payback. The
These
big payback
roommates
is
over
ready
here.
to play.
Anyway,
What's that?
I said these roommates over here. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, being an allowance and letting my son move out and realizing that your child is just as magical as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes even more if you would allow them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the shortcomings that we see of somebody is that's a projection of you on somebody else. And I did that to my children. And it's difficult because everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people want to see people do well. And when you think about, you sit back and you look at the caliber of what's going on, you worry about things until you realize that the antidote to worry is magic.
Mm.
It's always been that way. The antidote to magic, to worrying is magic. You breathe, but you don't know how that shit really works. We
Right.
sit here breathing, and it's magic about breathing. Because the first time you get something caught in your throat, you start choking, you know it. You but oh shit, this is real. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yep. Um, I have 3 kiddos, and my middle is the most fun to parent. um, the other two, I've never like worried about or any of that jazz, but him for whatever reason, I was he was the one that I worried about until 6th grade. He learns differently
Uh-huh.
than his peers. And when he's focused on something, he is focused on that thing.
Right.
And his pace of work is a lot slower. And so I was always concerned about his ability to navigate, particularly beyond elementary school, because our elementary school teachers here were fantastic.
Uh-huh.
And middle school meant more transitions, heavier workload, like all of the things. Well, I go to a meeting for him at the end of 6th grade and just hear how fantastically he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
how he asks, you know, one teacher said, he asked the most appropriate questions. He actually asked the best questions of all his peers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment that I got to see that I don't need to worry about him.
Right.
Because he is figuring it out. Um, I don't worry anymore, but I still think more about him than I do the other two.
Yeah.
But it's more from a space of like, okay, so how can I equip you? Like, clearly I've been doing okay.
Right.
So how can I continue to equip you to like make sure you take care of yourself and like express your magic and
Yeah. And I think that's sometimes as parents, as a parent, uh, I think I said this a while back. I think I got down on myself for a couple of things as a parent, but I think the other, and that's the judgment. And so
Mm.
that like a booger. Uh, uh, I did what I could do when I could do it. But one of the
Mhm.
things that I think I really did is that I allowed my children to be them
Mhm.
truly. And sometimes it went against what everybody else thought. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to go with what I sense could be a contribution to my children.
Yes.
And that didn't mean that it was going to be, uh, it did not mean that we're going to be perfect. It meant that we were going to explore.
Mhm.
And how many people didn't have the opportunity to explore more of them? And I did that. I mean, one time it was here's an analogy of it. And this, I know some people in my family going, oh my God, here you talk about this. So my kids had a problem with church, and we were going when they were younger, and then I would go occasionally to church when I would invite them if they wanted to come. And some people like, oh, heathen. Yeah, from that perspective,
Yeah.
I would say that I think my children are great caretakers of the earth because they'll come to where they need to be with their faith whenever they come to that. But what really is important is what kids see their parents doing.
Mhm.
And I did not realize that about just being, simply being me, allowed them to be them. My oldest is a person from a different planet. And I worried about her for recently, just up until I had a conversation with Tori, and I realized uh, they are perfect for where they are in this 10
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
And if I worry, what does that create in their energy?
Yes.
See, that's the
Absolutely.
piece where I said depression, where you wake up and you think that somebody, what is that energy? And I realized that I don't realize that my kids, even my youngest, Adia, who's the most spiciest of the three, I would say, she has this gentle kindness that she ain't gonna let you see it. It's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna open up like this, and if you missed it, it'll be back in a second. And the issue with it, or the not the issue with it, the magic in that is that's who she is.
Yeah.
And some people were like, well, you need to change that from that person to the other. What? I think
Mhm.
that being you in magic, in darkness, allows other people to see there's a chance that they could do something different and be
Yeah.
different. And you can
And
cry, you can stay in there, you could be in those go ahead. You were gonna say something.
I was just gonna say it invites people to more of them.
Yeah,
You being more of you invites people to be more of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the half hour, and I turn into pumpkin at 7:30.
I'm cracking
Uh,
you up so much.
yeah.
Thank you,
Next
friends, for
Monday.
coming.
Thank you guys. If I can join next Monday, I don't know. I have to figure out what time it is where I'll be. I will jump on.
It'll be 4 p.m. unless we need to change it.
Okay, 4 p.m. their time.
You're that
My
time,
time.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that should be able to. I might be able to run if we're done. I'll jump in, and if yeah, I'll get back with you and we could put something up. See what their Wi-Fi is like over there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you, friends.
thank you, people. Thank you for your magic. Thank you for all that you contribute. Be
Ooh,
you, and don't be afraid of the magic in darkness. The magic in the darkness. It's
yeah.
a blessing in disguise.
Don't be afraid of the dark. There's magic in there.
See y'all soon. Bye.
Bye. I love your bye.